I want to talk about this anime that's on Netflix. Kind of an anime, kind of a cartoon. Maybe not so much an anime, but more of a cartoon because it's not really in Japanese. But it's called Pantheon. It's a AMC original series. This anime movie, TV show dives into some concepts around our essence of reality and artificial intelligence. And I wanted to touch on certain theories within this episode because I ended up watching the 8 episodes and I just kind of want to give you my thoughts and my opinions on it. This isn't going to be like the traditional review that you've seen on the channel in the past. I just want to give you that as a heads up. If you want to go watch something else or watch one of the other videos that's more anime related, it's just this series got me thinking quite a bit about what is our actual reality. Like everybody thinks that this right here, and I'm going to be drawing some things out as well too, just to kind of give you something to look at since I don't have like the actual original board. But like this is what we believe our reality to be right here. Like this is, wow, my handwriting is wonderful, isn't it, you guys? Like it's the best handwriting in the entire world. So like this is what we think our reality, that's not even how you spell it. This is what we think our reality is right now. But within the anime or the movie, what they end up doing is like, this is our human brain. This is the brain, we'll say. That's a terrible looking brain, but basically this is our brain, okay? And within the anime, I'm just gonna say it's an anime because I wanna say that's an anime. There's these people that come in and they end up wanting to grab this brain, like your human brain right here, this human brain, this human physical object, grab the brain and then they want to do what they can do and they want to put it into a computer. Which, if you've ever watched The Matrix or seen The Matrix, a lot of people will believe that we're living in a simulation, which I am under the impression and the belief that we do live in a simulation, just because I've seen certain things within my own existence that kind of like prove to me that this is all just made up in a sense. Like I'll see things or I'll hear things or certain things will happen or certain things won't happen. And then things just start to end up happening. Like, how do we know that any of these things that we perceive are real? Because like, I don't know if you dream at all. This is an analogy that I like to ask all the time is, when you're dreaming, how do you know that that's not reality? I have lots of dreams where I've woken up and I feel like I have like touched myself. I'm like, am I actually, okay, I'm here right now, but like that dream felt so real that my heart was pounding and things like that. I have friends that have said the exact same thing too. So basically within the series, what they end up doing is they create this machine that's able to grab the neurons, because if you think about it too, our brains are the thing that have created everything in our entire existence, from cars to pianos. This is a piano, by the way. To anything else that exists has all stemmed from the brain. Our brains have created AI themselves. So the idea or the concept within the anime is that these people want to bring the brains into the computer so that then they can live forever. It's basically a mortality type of thing. And if you look at it this way, this guy kind of reminds me of Steve Jobs right here. Maybe he does remind you of Steve Jobs as well. Maybe not. Who knows? Whatever. There's a lot of different questions that are proposed within the series as well too. And I know this is probably a little bit late, but there are spoilers and things like this in this episode. So just as a fair warning, I don't believe I gave any big spoilers right now other than that, but just wanted to touch on that. But basically what they want to do is they want to transfer the human consciousness into computers so that then they can work like simultaneously. It's kind of like the augmented reality VR type of stuff that we see in like sci-fi films. So one of the parents ends up being able to break out of like their prison that they ended up having created for them when they told that their father that they ended up having to leave, which is a little messed up that they would be lying to family. But like the big thing that I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around right now, and maybe you can help me with this and I can help you with it as well too, is like when you're living in a simulation and you can't tell the difference between real and fake, what is real? Is it really real that like within this scene right here, what we end up seeing is basically this is the episode. They end up coming through sorry about that. They end up telling us what things are, how we think the reality is, but that focus thing is not working for us, you guys. They're in a computer simulation right now, yet the dad seems real. She's not necessarily in the simulation. So like if your consciousness and if your reality is transferred over to a computer, then what is technically real? Are you real or are you not real? And that was a struggle that the mom had for a while with her dad, was she was trying to figure out whether or not the dad was actually truly alive or if she was just imagining it. It's just like, well, he's not actually physically there, but then one of the other guys for one of the other UIs. They're called UIs, universal intelligence, I believe is what it was. And he ends up seeing, like, the daughter sees her dad as real, because in our generation, a lot of the times what we see is, like, we're just talking with people online, and if they aren't really here, like right now, you're listening to me talk about this. Am I real to you or am I not real to you? Like, you're the one that gets to decide that. It's just a different outlook. But the mom, she never really understood that when she was messaging back and forth, even though she was kind of freaked out with, like, how could he send this message, or how could he not send this message? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. Like, what's going on? How are things actually working? Am I here? Am I not here? Because this was one of the other UIs that came in, and her husband ended up, like, becoming closer, and they became, like, more in love when she was a UI compared to when she was in, like, an actual physical form. So is anything actually truly real, or is everything just signals happening in our brain that are making it seem and appear real to us? Because even this guy, he has a very rough childhood, and certain things end up happening to him. But my biggest thing is just, what is real? Like, if somebody gets their intelligence transferred into a computer, does that make them any less real than, like, you or I? Because what if we are in that computer right now? What if that is our existence? Somebody, like, there's a scene from Men in Black too, like, with, like, flipping the marbles, and we're just, like, all of marbles in a giant game. Like, how do we know that we are as significant as we think we are? I'm also going to be reviewing this episode as well too in tomorrow's video, so you can subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. But it's just something that I like to think about. Because if we were AIs, like, what happens? Do we remove them? Do we keep them? Like, where do they go? What happens to them? Where are we left? Do people truly ever change? Like, do they not change? Can they change? Like, can they not change? Like, it's just, what makes a person truly? Is it signals? Is it communication? Is it love? Is it emotion? Like, what is it? Is it all of it? Because the only reason why he was able to break out and meet his daughter in the first place was because he had an emotional spike. And then from him having that emotional spike, then he was able to talk to his daughter and get connected with her and help her out in certain ways. And also, this does start off a little bit slower than I would have liked it to, but it's still really good. The concept's great. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It really got me thinking. There's some episodes that are a little bit slow, but as it started to build up and I started to realize, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a debate or a conversation of, like, our ability to live forever, even if we aren't in our bodies, because is it really just our mind that makes up our reality? Or is it our soul or our heart or our feelings or our emotions? Like, is it just our brains and our like the neurons in our brain firing after one another? Or are we more than that? Like, I'd love to know your thoughts and your comments down below. With that being said, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. If you have any questions or any ideas or suggestions, just let me know, and I'll chat with you soon. Talk soon.